Are you thinking about moving and living in Lisbon, Porto, or the Algarve? Well, you're not alone, and picking the wrong spot could make or break your experience of moving and living in Portugal. So Nata, you've been living in Portugal for a while. What are the main differences between the Algarve, Lisbon, and Porto, and why did you end up living in your specific location?
I think they're very different. Porto, Lisbon, Algarve. Personally, I live in the Algarve because I love the lifestyle here. I love that it's more chilled, I think, than Lisbon and Porto. I like that you can do a lot of activities here. It's beautiful weather, obviously. Lisbon's great, Porto's great, but I think it's a bit of a different vibe. It's more of a city. You have more people living. It's more there's more going on for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Lisbon is obviously the biggest metropolitan city we have in Portugal, so there's a lot going on there all the time, and Porto is a bit of a mix between the Algarve and Lisbon in the sense of how laid back it is compared to how much of a metropolitan city there is. There are benefits and drawbacks for each kind of person that's living there. I believe the Algarve has a bigger expat community than Lisbon and Porto. They do still have pretty big expat communities, but a lot of British, Americans, Irish live in the Algarve and are a little bit of an older demographic down here.
Yeah, and I think having said that also, obviously, you can find places like the Algarve next to Lisbon, next to Porto. So you have Cascais, which is in between. Yeah. You have, let's say, you have, what do you have next to Porto? You have Nazaré, right? So
yeah, you have that on the Silver Coast.
So you can find places that are kind of similar to the Algarve, more laid back, but then they're not in the south.
Yeah.
So, which is also a possibility.
Yeah, you can outside the city, and I think Cascais is a good idea of what you could find near Lisbon if you do really love the city of Lisbon, as many people do, and they want to be close to it, but they also want that laid-back lifestyle. Cascais is a good option. Also, Costa da Caparica, just a bit south of Lisbon. You have Comporta, which is coming up as well, which a lot of people are interested in right now. So there are many different options. What kind of person do you think would thrive in each one of these locations?
I think it depends a lot on your lifestyle and personal preferences. I think Algarve is maybe for someone who's already lived in a city before and is looking for something more laid back and chilled, relaxed, more to enjoy. And it doesn't necessarily has to do anything with age, I think, because, let's say we're pretty young and we still love living in Algarve. So if people have this thought that Algarve is more for a more senior generations, retires, that I don't think that's necessarily true anymore. So yeah, but then Lisbon is probably for someone who's looking for more of a city life, and Lisbon has really became a hub for a lot of people that moved away from their own city or country. So you have a lot of opportunities, a lot of tech people that are coming and moving in, a lot of IT going on there. So more for someone who is looking for a city life. Porto, I'd say, is, as you mentioned, I think a bit in between, so it has a little bit of both. Porto, I think, is an interesting city. I've been there obviously quite a few times because we have an office there. I can't really grasp it. I think it's in between because you have the part of Foz in Porto, which is more like chilled, relaxed, but then the center is more active, I guess. What do you think?
Yeah, so when it comes to Porto, I feel like you're getting the benefit of a bit cheaper housing, which we'll get onto later. So there's reasons why for each kind of budget as well, you pick specific locations. That also happens very much so within Lisbon, where you have different pockets of, more expensive properties and where you would live. So a lot of the decision on where you're going to move is of course based on your budget, because your money's going to go a lot further the more north you go in Portugal, but of course the weather kind of is a bit worse as well, so that's a big reason for it. So all of those things factor in. Now, what you mentioned with digital nomads, there are a lot in Lisbon and in Porto. In the Algarve, we're starting to definitely see quite a few more many more digital nomads who are coming here, but it is still much more prevalent in Lisbon and in Porto. So if you are younger, or you do want more of a city scene and to go out more and have more international younger friends, then perhaps Lisbon is going to be the better option, or Porto as well. But the Algarve has so much to offer in terms of that, but then also the incredible lifestyle. It is a bit more laid back. You have amazing facilities for golf, some of the best golf courses in the world. Yeah. If you want to live an active lifestyle, or if you want to have a family here, I think it's a fantastic place to do so. So yeah, each place really does suit itself differently. I would say for a younger demographic, typically, Lisbon or in and around Lisbon is going to be the better option. If you're a little bit older, having a family, then potentially looking at the Algarve could really be a fantastic choice. So how does the real estate market compare in each one of these locations, whether you're looking to rent or whether you're looking to buy? Now, in the Algarve and Lisbon, the prices are quite high, especially in central Algarve and in the main city of Lisbon. The prices have risen quite a bit over the past 5 years. So it's important to consider what kind of budget you have and what kind of property you're looking for. Because of course, if you're going on the outskirts of these locations, then you are going to get a bit more property for your buck. But then obviously location is a massive factor to how the quality of your life and what it's going to be like in your day-to-day activities. For example, I've done a lot of work up in Lisbon, and when you live closer to the promenade, you use it much more often. And that becomes a big aspect of your life. So it's really important to consider where you're purchasing, because if you do save some money, get a bigger place in the outskirts, you might be losing some elements of your life that you absolutely adore and love in those small moments every single day. So, it's really important to weigh up your budget and what kind of properties you can get. The best way to kind of see this when you're starting to consider looking is go on portals like Idealista or Supercasa or other places like that, so you can kind of see the market. But it's, you always need to speak to an expert at the end of the day who has your interests at heart, and they will be able to find you the best property, give you unbiased advice on what location, especially if you're not so familiar with the Algarve or Lisbon or Porto. They really need to intimately know what kind of lifestyle you're looking for. If you're moving with a family, what kind of international schools there are. So each one of these parts is really going to tailor to different lifestyles, and you're going to have the most success if you do find the best place possible. And Portugal can be an incredible place to live when you get it right. Thanks for watching. Please click the like and subscribe button if you've taken any value away from this video. I look forward to seeing you there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.